Welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. If you're not too careful, you just might learn something. Hi there. Welcome back to another episode of MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. And if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. So now we're going to be working on, I guess this is the fourth part. This is where it gets good and techy. This is where we're going to go ahead and wire up our heater, and to make for our heat we're going to use like just a regular old milk house type heater, and I'll put it somewhat back together here. I've kind of opened it up, but just your regular old space heater, inexpensive. You buy it from Wally World or Tractor Supply or whatever. And I've used these out here in the workshop as a little near field space heater when it's really cold out. But they only draw, let's see, they only draw like 12 or 1300 watts or something like that. About equivalent of a hair dryer on high. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a method of converting this into a round duct to where we can direct the heat down into the doghouse. And what we're going to do though is we're going to make sure that everything's good and safe, both electrically and as far as the heat that this thing puts out. You know, we're not going to defeat any of the thermal safeties. So if this thing gets too hot, then we're going to leave that thermal safety in there. Now we will bypass this thermostat because we're going to use an external one. I'll grab it for you here and show you. Which is a thermostat that's basically designed to control baseboard electric heat. So this is more than adequate for the job, and we will mount this down inside the box where the dog's going to sit, so it'll monitor the temperature in there and turn this heater and fan on and off as needed. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're basically going to disconnect these two items right here, okay, and we're going to go ahead and cut and splice and solder them together right there. Let's get our things, trim these puppies here. We'll strip our wire just a smidge, and then we're going to get us some heat shrink. Cut us a little wee piece of that. Slide our heat shrink tubing on there, and we'll make a really good mechanical connection first. You don't want to depend on your solder to make your entire connection. You want a good solid mechanical connection there. Heat our soldering iron up here, and then we heat our joint and let our solder flow right into it. That makes her super solid electrical connection there, so we don't have to worry about that running hot. And then what we'll do is we'll move our heat shrink tubing over here, and then I'll have to get my heat gun to heat that up and shrink it. I always like soldering my electrical connections any time it's possible. And when you hit this with the heat gun, it shrinks nice and tight around that wire. gives you a nice sealed connection. Easy peasy. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to just go ahead and get rid of this because we're not going to need it. That'll make it easier for us to fix our ductwork adapter here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some flashing material here, which is basically sheet metal, and we're going to cut ourselves some pieces that'll work into what we're doing here. So we'll make it probably, you know, as wide as the heater, and then we'll come out from the sides with another piece and then rivet it all together. Alright, so I cut me a piece here that will kind of fit here and fit kind of here like that. Of course, we're going to square it off and make it a little prettier here. So now I have a siding bender out there, but I'm just going to use a couple of blocks of wood here after I square up this measurement. Okay, so we need roughly an inch. Or so an inch here. You put a couple of clamps on this board. If you need a real sharp angle, which is what we're going to do, then we can go ahead and clamp this tight and then tap that down with a hammer. Okay. Now you can just gently, you don't have to beat the heck out of it now, you can just tap it real nice and light and easy. You got a nice 90-degree bend here. How about that, sports fans? And now we'll bend our other little 90 right here. That won't need to be near as long, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Now this one is going to get bent the other way. So we'll very gently just tap this over. Is something like this, and then we're going to square off these top two corners here and put our little piece of a little duct adapter there. First, what we'll do is we'll have to drill and rivet this down here and here. A little bit of a thunderstorm going out here. Nothing major, I don't think. And we'll just use us some 1/8" rivets. Once we get some bends in this thing, it'll stiffen up really good. Become nice and strong. sturdy. Alright, now what we can do, we're going to take you always want to be careful with this because you're dealing with sharp sheet metal, so always be careful. We just kind of want to get a 90 started here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty. You just want an open plenum here for this fan to be able to force air through and then come out through the duct adapter there on the end. Circle around here. Then we'll cut that little hole out. Now to do that, we'll use a larger drill bit. We can get our hole started. But the most important thing you want to remember is you don't want to try and do it like this because it's so thin it's going to walk all around on you and give you fits. So take you a little block of wood and just make a start where you can get your scissors started in here. Just like that. Now I use a pair of electrician's scissors or lineman scissors or IT scissors, whatever you want to call it. And then, because this is so thin, it's not going to hurt. And you just want to follow your line all the way around. Ta-da! And what you do is you bend all your ears out here like so. And I like to take off any of this paper labeling. I don't want anything getting too warm there and smelling. A little tight, that's good. And always trim a little bit out. It's hard filling it in. And what we'll do is we'll drill and put a rivet or two around there to hold it in place. And then we'll seal it with aluminum heater duct tape. Now, what we'll seal this up with is 3M foil tape that's specially designed for ductwork. It's resistant to cold weather, hot weather. nice and airtight so we can control the flow, so all the heat comes out of here and it sucks all its cool air in from back here. Now we'll take the cabs back apart and wire everything up, and this little bit here will be done. Okay, another thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get your hot and your neutral the same. Okay, this will always be the hot leg with the ground at the bottom, and this one the neutral. Alrighty then. So what we've got here, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So we'll mount this here, okay, and then this will be sealed off with the exception of the ability to keep this back open, because this is where it's going to suck its air in from this side and then warm it and then blow it out through here. Now I have this sitting here, that's to hold this up because it's a little tipsy because I don't have it mounted in place yet, but this will come down into a vent through the ceiling down into here where the dog will be sleeping, and then the temperature will be controlled by a thermostat, and then we can, this whole thing will flip open so that you can get to your thermostat and adjust it and clean and all that good stuff. So anyway, it's a work night for me, so can't work on much more. Time to go in for the night, so we'll see you next time.